is Artificial Intelligence. The LP, Shooting the Breeze. LP is out. That's the greatest radio band ever. The new LP is out. It's streaming right now. Czarface is DJ 7L. Is Inspector Deck and is Esoteric, a local young man done well. Esoteric is here in studio. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
He's got his Doom sweatshirt on in order to impress the host. I'm very impressed.
Got to play to the crowd. I'm wearing a Red Sox hat for these guys. And
that's right.
At least you left your Garoppolo jersey home this time.
I did.
Jesus.
Burned my Mac Jones jersey, and I did all of the right things.
Yeah. Did you hear when we had Dan Soder on and he was talking about, because Dan Soder is like best friends with Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins, who worked with Shanahan in San Francisco, and he was telling us that they called Garoppolo Dirk Diggler not because of his size, but because he was so stupid. He reminded him of Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights.
Right, I know Dirk Diggler, but not because of his girth.
No,
because of his.
No, I'm sure that was a side thing. I mean, he's a handsome man. You got to figure he's got a lot of stuff going from God give it with one hand and take it away.
Right.
So his lack of intelligence was made up for in other ways.
Got to balance it out.
Yes, absolutely. But he was apparently not. You were a big Garoppolo guy.
Well, I wore the jersey to one of the Toucher and Rich shows. It was right when I think he was taking the helm for like a blip.
Okay, so you were really playing to the crowd.
I was, yeah. It's when I think I befriended Dan Roach at that event.
Oh, no, have you two stayed close since then?
No, not at all. But I see him at Disney every once in a while, and then
Dan.
I remember. Oh, it's Dan Roach because it was that 98 Mile situation. And,
yes, it was a wild night.
Yeah,
the big 98 Mile night. All right, so you. So Czarface has been around since 2013.
Sure.
And
well, we started like 2011, but first record 2013.
Okay, so it's 2013. So you're doing this, and when it first starts, I mean, you got some from Wu-Tang, and it's you and 7L had worked together for a long time. Yeah. Was it supposed to be a one-off thing? What was your goal when you first started it?
So to make an album with Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang at that time was just shooting for the moon, you know what I mean? And we had a relationship with them dating back to the 90s because we did a couple records together back then, but they were just one-offs. And then the idea of an album came together, and Deck was down to do it and make it happen. And we did it, and we didn't think it was – I mean, we hoped it would get the praise that it received, and it happened to really pop off for us. So we continued and made a second album and a third album, and then started working with Doom and then Ghostface and so forth, and now we're where we're at, man. It's been good.
All right, so when you first start working with Inspector Deck, are you guys just kind of like collaborators? Are you working together, or is he somewhere else and he's just giving you his bars, and then how has that relationship evolved? Because now it's been, what has it been, 10 years? 10 years or so.
It's been a while,
Over 10 years. Like, how has that relationship evolved with you two?
It's been great, man. Like the first records we ever did were in person in a studio in Brooklyn, and with some of the other guys from some Wu-Tang affiliates, and we were just in the lab making tracks, and it was just, a very fan I was a super fan at that point. I was working with a living legend, and I was kind of nervous at that point. But now we're a lot more friendly. You know what I mean? I can bust his balls, he can bust mine. It's because it's been years. So we do a lot of work in studio, and occasionally we'll fly a verse over email. If we're working on demos and so forth. But most of the stuff we do is together in the lab. So it's high stakes when you're recording with Deck.
Yeah, and even and I like Wu-Tang Clan, but even when I heard that you were working with Inspector Deck, I was like, oh, because when you think of Wu-Tang Clan, you think of Jizza, you think of Method Man, you think of Ghostface Killer.
You think of Inspector Deck, all right?
No,
let's set the record straight.
But if you watch the documentary, and then now when I go back and listen, I was an idiot. Because if you watch the documentary, they're like, Inspector Deck goes first. And because there's this Wu-Tang documentary, they're all sitting in this theater. It's actually good, must be hard to corral all of them and get them speaking. Like, it's got to be very hard because you've seen Coffee and Cigarettes. That's when Riz and Jizza start talking, very difficult to understand. They're talking on some other plane that I don't really get. They're more intelligent than me is what I'm saying. So, but they're talking about Inspector Deck, and they're saying, like, he always goes first, and they're like, you don't want to follow him. And the reason he always goes first is because he's so good that it makes us all have to, fall in line from that. And then I saw that, and I was like, wow. And then I started re-listening to Wu-Tang and going, wow, Inspector Deck is phenomenal. I just fell into the trap of like who put out the solo records and this and that, and and who was the most charismatic guy. Method Man was like the most famous and charismatic guy. You always saw him around.
Yeah.
And so that was on me for not getting that Inspector Deck was that talented.
Yeah, you were a casual fan, you know.
I was a casual fan. I was perpetrating. I was a poser. I mean, I got to sell all my Wu-Tang merchandise that I'm wearing constantly. Because I want to be that guy. So, I have a Wu-Tang dog leash. I have everything. All right. So, but I didn't get it. And so that's on me. But you knew as a fan of hip hop that how talented he was.
Yeah, absolutely. From the get, because I mean, it's something that's in my blood since, you know, the late 80s, mid 80s, just absolutely in love with the craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just fell in love with it over the years and kind of learned how things work and heard his mechanics, his voice, everything, and that was it.
All right, so I've known you since, I think before Czarface, or right when Czarface started. I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
And since that time, it's been interesting because you're on Virgin, which is a major label.
Yes, sir.
And so now, and I was, at first it was like, wow, you're making this record, and then it was like, wow, you're touring internationally, and now you're on Virgin, and now you're I always think you're a lot of places. I don't know how things drop on the internet. Like, I don't know how they come out. Because to me, you texted me when the show change happened, and you were like, "Thank God it happened." No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He was like, "I hate Rich." He was
kidding. He's kidding.
He was like,
He's
"Rich
kidding.
sucks." He's like, "This." He goes,
kidding.
"He goes, I finally can come on the show." He goes, I've been sitting here dying to come on."
You see this guy back away from a microphone like that. That was
Rich.
impressive.
I'm joking.
I parked over by Chipotle over there in honor of Rich.
That's right.
Celebratory burrito after this.
I'm
well done.
I'm of course being very sarcastic.
Yes, and I love you too, and I love everyone here, and I'm ready to take on this chair.
That's right. Esoteric has made a push. He's out of town a lot.
Yeah.
And he has great production experience, which is part of what you need.
That's
to
a
get
very
this
good
role.
point.
Yeah, I could do the what do you call them? Skits?
Yeah,
Gags,
that's
bits.
well, good. Thanks. I appreciate the way that you have not
Clearly, you're the
downplayed it.
front runner.
It's obvious you're a big fan of Rich. Whatever he did on the show.
Wow.
Those little stupid fart things.
I think we would have a good. You and me would have a great chemistry. Like, you're the guy that doesn't pick up after his dog. I'm the guy that picks up.
I've told you that it's
you know
when I just said I didn't pick up after my dog. That's the one thing since I've been in Boston. You know how when people come up to you, they're always nice.
Yes.
Like probably with you too. Like, you'll get a bunch of crap online, but like then but then in person, no one says anything to you. I think it's happened to me one time. Yeah. You know, I was on the C train going to and a drunk guy got on the train. I was drunk too, and he started yelling at me. Mm-hmm. That's one time. I think that's the only time someone has actually really been mean to me. And with the dog not picking up the dog crap, which I wasn't doing, but it was before I got this puppy. But now I have to because I'm a marked man. But like even my neighbors were coming up to me going,
forced to pick up.
I was ashamed to do it
because people were watching.
Because my neighbors who were like super nice even came up and went, "Ha ha! I heard that thing about you not picking up after your dog. You're just kidding, right?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, look, I got bags on me now. So and you led the shame.
I did.
You did. You hate that. And then then there's videos of him of Esso picking up dog crap, holding the dog crap and referencing me, thereby making a subliminal.
Very good.
Like a subliminal diss, a multi-level diss to me, associating with dog crap.
We could just have a spin-off show about picking up dog crap. I'd be happy to do it. There's a lot of dogs in my neighborhood that people are spotted for dogs. They'll just squat anywhere and people won't pick up.
And you know those people. You've marked them.
There's a dog named Jetty and there's a dog named Roy. And those dogs just go anywhere, and nobody picks up after them. Nobody cares. They're like wild feral animals.
And and you have like a neighborhood watch situation. Have you created like a message board where you can go after them?
That's normal.
Nothing's normal about this. Nothing's normal.
No kidding.
This is a man who works it out at night. This is a man who has children, so he's up during the day, but he works at night.
It's trouble communicating. I understand.
I work well there at school. So
right.
I get a lot of stuff done then, and they even put them in some of our songs too. So I sampled.
I realize that. That's actually cool. And I've met your son. I don't think I've ever met your daughter, but I met your son.
Yeah, yep. You met my son at the Bruins event.
Yep.
He had met Zdeno Chara and you in the same whack, so that's quite a 1-2 punch.
Two giants. Two giants to look up to.
Two Boston legends.
Actually, your son's a very tall young man. All right, so you have these celebrity fans, me, John.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you have. So when I met you, you were a rapper from Boston. Yeah. The things I knew about you at the time were just so random too. And then now it turns out you're this guy with celebrity fans. You're on Virgin Records. Who are the people that have reached out to you that we would know that are fans? I know on the Tom Segura podcast that he has Czarface records behind him all the time.
Yeah.
Dilated Peoples.
Yeah, he likes it.
He likes Dilated Peoples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me think. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Margot Robbie.
Ooh. Tiffany the whole gang at the Max.
Love Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Don't listen to him. Love Tiffany.
No, I'm only kidding.
Well, you know, Elizabeth Berkley went to my high school. She's quite a bit older than me, but she went to my high school.
Yes. Our female fan base leaves a lot to be desired. No,
are you like Rush? Is it a Rush situation where there's no women?
It's just the core. No, there are a few, and they're great, and I'm very thankful for that audience. But
are they heavy women?
No,
for the most part.
And if they are, I think it's any woman is welcome. But for the listeners,
well, of course,
please come to the show.
Right.
Such a sausage party going on,
but it's mostly men.
No, it's not. It's everything. You get any type of person at our shows, but I mean, I think we tend to have a male-heavy fan base,
a heavy male audience,
heavy males, and
live shots.
Yeah, I've never seen him in person.
He's a heavy guy.
I don't know if the camera adds, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people.
So Tom Hardy,
Tom Hardy, that's my man.
So Tom Hardy's like a big fan of yours, and so. When these guys reach out, now you're on Virgin, now you're touring and all this stuff, so I suppose it's easier. But at a time, like I mean, everyone was separated. You're here in a suburb of Boston. You're a family guy. Yeah. You're raising a family. You have a normal life in that respect. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're out at like the Ivy or something and like waiting for people to come up to you in Hollywood. Right. So how do these guys reach out? Do they reach out on Instagram?
Yeah, that tends to happen. Yeah, it does.
Okay, so when someone reaches out on Instagram, like that, that's famous, is there like a vetting system, or how do you figure out if this is real?
We just jump right to FaceTime.
Do you really?
No. I mean, that has happened.
I know you have with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, that's happened. Yeah, I've Tom's come up to a few of our shows and stuff, so we've had a lot.
Who could you get on the phone right now?
I could probably get him on the phone right now, but I wouldn't want to surprise him.
I don't know anything about him either. So go ahead.
That is a shame.
I think he's an ex-drinker. I think Tom Hardy stopped drinking.
Oh, is that right?
I believe that is the case.
You guys.
We could talk about that. Because I'm the expert on it.
You could talk about his movies.
What movies, Tom Hardy?
The Revenant,
Warrior, right?
Venom, Warrior. Yeah, there's Fury Road. There's so many.
Very good.
Listen,
he's a very respected actor.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and he's a fan of yours.
He is.
So, no, but these guys, they DM you, or these women, they DM you. How many females DM you? Do women DM you?
Well, I wonder if my wife is listening.
She knows that you're the most nicest guy in the world. She knows you're not doing it.
Okay.
But do women do that? Well, they don't to me.
I think being responsive on social media is an important way to engage people. Do you know what I mean?
You do?
I do, because I think when you have maybe even a parasocial relationship, but if you nurture these things, I think it works both ways. Like I could connect it to the time that I met like Reggie Lewis in person back in like 1990. He was playing at the Fens, and my dad took me there to watch some of the BNBL basketball league, summer league, and Reggie Lewis was there. And my dad brought me over there, walked me up to meet him, and I remember shaking Reggie Lewis's hand, and there was like Public Enemy was playing on the radio and everything, and it was just this magic moment that I'll never ever forget. I was like looking up, oh my God, I'm shaking his hand. And I was like, this is Reggie Lewis, and all this hip-hop is blasting. And I think I just fell in love with everything at that point, like hoops and hip-hop. And it was just like this one powerful moment. So I think, and I'm not saying I'll ever be on the stature of Reggie Lewis.
Right.
But I do think taking time to chat with people, fans, whether it's virtually or in person, sometimes I get grief for talking to people too long after shows. Some of the other guys in the group want to get out of there.
No, their asses.
Well, no. But I will take the time to listen to somebody's story or tell them something unique.
But do you get back to everyone on Instagram?
Not
because
everyone,
then your
no.
general inbox has got to be, because then it goes into a different file. Like the Instagram thing is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it is. That's all very difficult, and I don't get back to everyone. But sometimes if somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, my boyfriend's birthday is something," he was in the UK and he turns 21, and it means so much if you something, and then I'm sitting on the toilet anyway. So I just get out of the toilet.
You have irritable bowel.
And then I'll say, my man Aaron, I got IBS. I want to send you happy birthday. You're the best.
With the INS.
So what we've learned is women do reach out to you.
Yes.
Notice how he quickly changed the subject and went in a different direction and avoided that altogether.
He starts talking about taking a dump.
Women reach out on behalf of their boyfriends because they probably thinking that I'm going to be more responsive to the women, but I'm just trying to do that's like when I'm out and I see attractive women on the street and they have this big, beautiful dog. I want to go talk to the dog, and the girls probably think I want to talk to them, but I'm looking at the dog because it's like seeing a celebrity canine. If you see a Leonberger or a St. Bernard or a Newfoundland, it's a real, speaking of DMs, wait a second. We have all this talk about DMs. John crept into my DM.
What?
Yes.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
I did.
Way after the fact. He was like, hey, where are those Czarface Saucony size 11s you were going to give me? This was like.
That's not true.
Whoa, this was like 6 months ago, man.
Really?
Yeah, so I brought him a pair.
And, he did. They're right here. He did bring.
By the way, size 11.
No,
That's
right. That never happened. But I wanted to bring him a pair.
But before you go,
he's not going.
I'm
We're
not
going to
going.
keep him because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about doing the Celtics games. We can talk to him about the Celtics. He's a huge Celtics fan.
He's trying to kick me out. I brought up the DM and he wants me to leave.
He's working with the old show rules. This thing ain't regimented, baby. You just hang out.
That's on me.
I mean, he really wants that second chair, and he's actually angling for the first chair. Who will take the rich chair? As Czarface's Esoteric sits in.
Oh, it's comfy.
And that's right. His Sway's coming in, and he's going to make him freestyle. Everything's happening.
I don't mean to lead in. I don't want to speak first.
Go ahead. Well, yeah, I mean, you do. On
8.5 the Sports Hub. This is Toucher and Rich. My name is Ryan.
Is it Toucher and Rich?
Is it?
You already effed it up.
My God. You're not going to get the second chair this way.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong with you?
You got the name of the show wrong?
I was going to compliment you on robbing Pascal Siakam. It's beyond impressive.
Listen, let me say one thing before I say that the handle is still Toucher and Rich. So I just think you guys are still until January.
Not really.
1st,
It's not Toucher and Rich. It was
Toucher letter N.
During the insanity, someone sat on the Toucher and Rich account. So now it's Toucher in the letter N Rich.
Toucher and S.
So you only have to do that for. It might be.
Well,
we're December 4th. I found out the new show debuts.
I'm not here to promote the album. I'm here
4th.
to get this chair.
Yeah, January 4th rather. January 4th. January 4th, the new show premieres. That is a fact.
Okay.
The show will not be on the air January 2nd and January 3rd.
Okay.
It will be in hidden planning stages. What are you doing, Nick? Why does that bother him? Why does that bother Nick? What is he doing back there?
He's laughing because this is news to him. He loves the.
Well, what did he have to know a month in advance?
No,
that we're not doing.
It's great news.
All right.
It's great news.
I mean, he's like laughing, like I think he's like making fun of me. I'm secure.
Very demonstrative.
I am secure. I am secure. We have a guest. All right. So
Yeah, back to Czarface.
Yeah, back to Czarface, as you were saying.
Well, that record there that was just playing, someone remarked, I think it was Dan on the Pascal Siakam line. Now, right after that record came out a few days ago, a sports reporter for the Raptors went in and played the song for Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam made a remark. It went on Yahoo News and everywhere. And I was like, it just happened overnight. And I was like, oh, wow, he heard the lyrics. He heard the reference to Pascal Siakam and a Fiat, which don't fit. But then on the same record, I say your comebacks are like Kristaps, meaning they're poor zingers. Nobody from the Celtics goes in and talks to Kristaps Porzingis and says, hey, check out this fly lyric.
You're asking a lot for a guy whose second language is English to get to that kind of wordplay, my friend. Don't you think?
The Celtics were nice to you previously.
All right, so
I mean, let's talk about this.
Bringing up the Celtics. So, as he talked about, he loves the Celtics. He's loved the Celtics since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
His father was kind enough to take him to the Fens and not jingle the keys.
Rookie camp, hanging out with Jimmy Rogers. I don't want to talk over you. Sorry. Look at his face. He's so mad.
Jimmy Rogers.
Former assistant coach for the Celtics.
All right. Well, now you two nerd out.
I'm just trying to help. That's all I'm doing.
Like I'm supposed to know Jimmy Rogers.
Ray Melchiori. Who else?
Trainer.
Mike Abdenauer, trainer for the Pistons.
There you go.
Oh, I could talk Pistons all day.
You knew Mike Abdenauer?
No, I didn't do
Little
Jim
Italian guy
Morris.
mustache.
No,
Did not look like he was training the team in terms of running. He looked like he was strictly there for the cuts and bruises.
Yeah.
All right. So you played halftime at a show. You were cool enough to reach out before it. I imagine you were nervous and you kind of went through your phone.
Yeah.
And that you could, and I understand. I won't throw myself in the story, but it's not ideal. It's not like it, now for you, it's a dream, but it's not an ideal space for a performer.
At the TD Garden?
At the TD Garden,
1,000 people?
Yeah, at a basketball game where they didn't buy a ticket to see you or to see a hip hop show.
It's not
are
a
there to see a
stage either.
basketball
There's
game.
a huge place to roam around.
Yes,
there.
the parquet.
Yes.
Which we called the Czarkay that night. And I was out there in front of 20,000 people, and I did not wet my pants. And I was not performing jock jams. I was doing our own hip hop, which is something that we've been fighting to create for and get exposed to people, a broader audience for years. Never really changing our sound and what's important to us and what we love making. So it was a real honor to perform there. And I couldn't believe it. I got paid to do it.
They paid you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, hold on, I'll do this for free. And then I started signing things, and I had to give my tax ID and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, wow. And then
is it worth it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I said I would have done it for free.
No, I would have done it for free. I thought it was just a promotional aspect. It's like doing the Super Bowl halftime. You know, like they don't pay very much, but they paid you, and so they pay you more than the lady that spins the plates, or what's the deal?
Red Panda?
Red Panda.
Well, it was a personal favor for Jason Tatum for me to go out there.
Yes.
Yes. And but then
do you know any of the guys on the team?
I know Lucky.
Yeah, you do.
Lucky gave me some words of encouragement before I went out. I was in this position about to walk out on stage. We needed the Celtics to be up, because the crowd was going to be more hostile if the Heat were winning at halftime. So we needed the Celtics to be up, and they were. So I was like, I felt a little relieved before I went out there. And as I'm about to go out, I get introduced as Esoteric from Czarface, and Scalabrine starts walking towards me across the court. I don't know Brian Scalabrine at all, so he's walking directly towards me. And I think, is he coming to shake my hand or give me some type of congratulatory nod? And he just keeps coming. I was like, okay, this will be cool. This will be a cool way to go out. He goes right past me to Antoine Walker, who was right to my right, and gives Antoine Walker a big hug. And then I just kind of go out on stage.
Yeah.
Put your hands up and all that stuff.
That's the same guy who when he talked to Rolling Stone about how he started in media, he said, I had my own radio show in Boston.
That's right.
That's his quote. Which was being a guest on our show turned into his own show because it was just easier to say.
Well, he had that. He's got the signature red locks or whatever he said.
Oh, what he does on the Lepresti commercial?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, they stay on you. Once you get the hair transplant with them, they keep tabs on you.
I saw.
Look at the socials.
I saw Mike Gorman going in too through security. So when you go in, as John, obviously you go in through. It's like you're entering an airport.
I've never been through that area.
Okay, yeah. So you go through the metal detector and everything, and Mike was right behind me, and I quickly got out of his way and rolled out the red carpet for him because obviously he's royalty. But it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You know?
And so could you hear yourself? Did you know what was going on?
Yeah, right when I got to center court, I could hear myself. But before, the earpiece that was in was very staticky. And there was like no time to kind of configure, troubleshoot.
Right.
It was just like, I'm going out there. And if I'm offbeat, if I can't hear myself, it's just going to be a disaster, but I have to do it.
Now, were you courtside? You were courtside.
I was courtside for the game.
Now, were you rubbing elbows with any other celebs, like a Michael Bivins or a one of the Wahlbergs?
They weren't there. No. It was a home opener. And if the Wahlbergs or Mike Bivins was there, that would have been really cool, I guess. But I don't know if I would have had the gall to go up and talk to them or whatever. But
to Michael Bivins?
Oh, no, I would have. Yeah.
Is Michael Bivins a multimillionaire, do you think?
I do not make a habit of looking at other people's pockets.
Well, just but you know about the record industry and his because like Jermaine Dupri's got like an incredible amount of money. Is he like the Jermaine Dupri of Boston?
I hope so.
Oh, that's a very look. You could go into politics.
Listen, no.
I hope so.
So
I wish everyone good fortune.
So how fast was that set over? I mean, you had what, like 7 minutes?
Yes.
How fast was that over
It
for
was
you?
a blip. It was a blip. And when I was out there though, there was a minute. You know, Fred actually texted me about an hour before I went on, which was very nice. It was very nice.
There you go.
He said, remember to take in this moment or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, this is wow. That really nice to hear from you in that sense. And
Yeah, because I know how much that it means to you, and it's easy to get nervous and all those things. But it's important to just take a mental photograph at some point and go like, wow,
Yeah.
like to appreciate it.
yeah.
To have gratitude for that moment at some point, if I can be serious.
Yeah, absolutely. There was and then the photos came back of me performing. Then there were great photos taken by the NBA or the Celtic staff, and I was like, oh wow, these are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So a nice keepsake to. Not that I'm going to put one in my house.
Why not?
Why would you
I got
not?
stuff about
That's
me all over.
That goes
There's
up
most
on
of
the wall
stuff
in
on
the
wall.
office. How can you not? And put it in the studio.
I
for
got
God's
articles
sake.
from the Boston Herald on my
We
wall.
did a show. We did a show at Red Rocks in
Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado, and there's some good photos there. I brought my wife on stage real quick to wish her happy birthday, and there's a photo of that because we were together on stage. So that's in the house, but I don't.
I don't
feel
like
it's
my living room isn't like plastered with stuff, but in my basement, what the hell else am I going to put up?
Like Trump like to have your photo? Your
Sure.
painting everywhere. Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know. And I'm a rapper. I should have that.
It's
Yeah.
not. I get what you're saying, but I don't think It's. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? I mean, do you have pictures of your kids on the walls?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, if there's there's still pictures of Rich and I,
There's
like from when we first started. Not like every article ever, but like I have an article from the Globe and the article from the Herald when the show first started, and I have the article they did that kind of launched us
Boston
in
Magazine.
Boston Magazine. That's the three things I have of myself.
Yep.
Oh, and then the first thing I was ever written about in Atlanta, it was a glossy magazine back when they had those. So, if that makes me a prick, I mean, I realize I am.
I'm not saying you're a prick, and I love saying prick on the radio. I can say prick. That's
Yeah,
right.
sure. Yes,
Prick,
yes,
prick,
yes.
prick. That's great. But part of the Czarface thing is I can put those on my wall because it's a character.
Well, and a lot of people do.
Well-
You've got that niche now where you're selling merch like woo woo.
Yeah, but people have approached us about making like an esoteric action figure. I don't want that.
Right.
Czarface, we have Czarface action figures, and that's cool because it's not me. But no, what are you gonna do with an esoteric action figure?
Walk the dog,
Walk
pick
the
up
dog.
crap. You could have a esoteric dog crap picker upper.
The kung fu grip, but it's
Scooper. It's a scooper. That's
It's got the Czarface claw, but it's got your face as the handle.
Super 7. Are you listening? We got to do
The
this.
Seamus she. The Seamus she. All right. There, the Seamus Shillelagh. All right. Very good.
Good
all
to
right.
see you.
It's always, we love them. Esoteric,
See
Czarface.
you, John. Good to meet you, Ryan.
You too.
Czartificial Intelligence is out. He's on Virgin. You can follow him at Czarface with CZARFACE_ESO.
Yeah.
Czarface _ESO. Tell him you enjoyed his appearance on the show.
I love you.
Fight
guys.
for him in the rich chair. And I love you. And maybe we'll get to management and finally convince them to get you a real job.